Hi guys, today is March 24th, 2020, and this is our lesson for Writer's Workshop. Yesterday, we definitely added on to our fairy tale adaptations, and we're going to start with our learning intentions and our success criteria. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I am reading off to you. 1 second while I pull that up. All right, and I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see it. All right, so our learning intentions for today. Today we will learn how to write 3 different types of dialogue. We've written dialogue before, but we're gonna make sure that we're correctly writing dialogue, and there's 3 different types that we can incorporate into our fairy tale. So our success criteria for today is that I can incorporate all 3 different types of dialogue throughout my fairy tale adaptation. Language intention, remember it's okay for you to say things out loud. We're not getting our turn and talk time that we usually do in class, but you can still practice saying it out loud in your home. I will use words like dialogue, quotation marks, dialogue tags, and commas. And then our social intention is I do the work even when no one is looking. So we're going to continue with our recipe card. Number 1 is that you're going to reread your fairy tale. I know in every video I've reread my fairy tale, but it serves a purpose. It's so that you're listening to it again and you're thinking to yourself, is this my best work? So I'm going to do that now. So, Catarella from the beginning. The sun was high in the sky and pink clouds lingered over Catarella's 2-story brick house in Manhattan, New York. Sparrows sang perched on honey locust trees. Butterflies fluttered their brightly colored wings as Catarella sang in her garden, pruning her white roses. Catarella was a very beautiful gray cat with a thick coat and lovely eyes the color of emeralds. Catarella had lost her mother as a child to sickness, and she lived with her papa cat. She was a good daughter. She cleaned all of the litter boxes and made mouth-watering meals for her papa, like rat stew and fish soup. I'll need you in a bit. However, Papa Cat was lonely and he longed to have a wife again. A few weeks later, Papa Cat signed up for a dating app called Perfect Match in order to find a wife. He went on many dates before he finally met a beautiful white Persian cat with piercing blue eyes, blue like glaciers. Her name was Mini, and she enjoyed long walks on the beach, candlelit tuna dinners, and she herself had 2 adorable calico kittens, Zoe and Chloe. Papa Cat fell in love with Mini and soon married her. Papa, it makes me smile to see you so happy. I'm sorry, guys. I have a clown trying to make me laugh right now. Okay, back to the story. Papa Cat fell in love with Mini and soon married her. Papa, it makes me smile to see you so happy with your new wife, Catarella whispered to her papa. But Catarella's happiness would soon wither away like a rose in the middle of winter. As soon as Mini and her daughters moved in, everything went wrong. When Papa Cat wasn't looking, Mini and her 2 daughters would be very cruel to Catarella. Why is there so much poop in my litter box? Catarella asked her stepsisters. Because we felt like pooping in your litter box. Your box is nicer than ours. One day, Catarella was searching for her favorite mouse toy when she spotted Zoe ripping the threads off of her toy. Zoe, why must you destroy my toy? This is your toy? It's so old. I felt like destroying something today. She yawned. Chloe, Catarella asked, may I get my pillow back? You're kidding, right? This is my pillow now, Chloe said firmly. Catarella would mysteriously find white long hairs on her favorite dresses in her closet. Catarella would cry at night, meowing softly into her pillow, wondering, Papa, why did you choose? I'm sorry, guys. Papa, why did you choose to marry Mini? Despite their wickedness, she remained kind to them. One day, Papa Cat had to fly to Kathmandu on a business trip. Day in and day out, poor Catarella was forced to do all of the chores for her malicious stepmother and stepsisters. Catarella was unhappy and disliked her stepmother and stepsisters very much. I'm going to pause it for a second.
You were rushing your.
All right, and the second part of our story, here we go, let's share this right now. So, a few evenings later, Catarella was returning from a hunt when she saw a fancy invitation on the door for Meow, the prince. The invitation said the family of the house was invited to a cat ball at the Kitty Suite in the Empire State Building and to wear elegant gowns. There would be mouth-watering sushi, scrumptious tuna bites, and all kinds of delicious cat treats. Catarella sprinted in, meowing, unable to contain her excitement. Guys, we've been invited to a ball. I can't wait to go and dance and prance with the prince.
Catarella, what makes you think you're going? You don't own any pretty dresses.
Well, I'm a great seamstress. I can make a gown out of yarn. Catarella painfully replied, looking down at her tired paws. The stepmother glared at Catarella and rudely said,
Well, let's see if you can make your fancy gown in time for the ball.
Catarella worked really hard. She began by taking out her knitting needles and going to the yarn shop in town. Her stepmother and stepsisters had stolen much of her money, so with the little money she had, she chose bright blue yarn the color of peacock feathers and wove a beautiful dress in time for the ball. She made a crown out of daisies and dahlias from her garden and painted her tiny claws a sky blue. On the day of the ball, she went downstairs to proudly show her dress off to her stepmother and stepsister. Catarella did indeed look gorgeous, and she purred with joy. Meanie, Zoe, and Chloe were doing some finishing touches on their dresses when their eyes fell on Catarella. Catarella asked, "Ladies, what do you think of my outfit? I made it myself,"
That is pretty.
said Zoe.
Yes, it is pretty. For now.
Growled Meanie while looking at her daughters. Zoe and Chloe immediately understood what Mother wanted them to do. They began to circle Catarella. Zoe lied.
You have some yard hanging.
Zoe and Chloe pulled the yarn, Catarella's dress coming apart. Chloe left a disgusting hairball in the torn parts of Catarella's dress, ruining it even more. Meanie locked eyes with Catarella, who sat on the floor on her tattered dress.
That's too bad, Catarella.
Meanie spat.
It was pretty.
Catarella was devastated as she watched Meanie, Zoe, and Chloe leave for the ball. Her tears clouded her eyes and spilled on the floor as she wished out loud, "Oh, I wish I could go to the ball. Oh, how I wish it so." So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and we're going to pause for a second. When I come back, I'm going to explain the 3 different dialogue tags that you can use. And we're back. So the last part of the lesson, you've heard my story so far, and I want to show you the 3 different dialogue tags that you can use in your writing to just make it even more interesting. So let's share the screen so you guys can see it again. And our goal for today is that you're going to try to use all 3 in your writing. And you should have at least 10 examples of dialogue for sure throughout your story. So there's a reason why I color-coded this so you guys could see it. There's 3 different dialogue tag examples. Form A is when you tag at the end. What does that mean? Well, here's an example of some dialogue. "I just want to go to the swanky party," Catarella cried. And so you see the dialogue starts from the beginning. I have quotation mark. I have what she's saying, comma, quotation mark, and then my dialogue tag, which tells me who's saying what and how are they saying it. So the dialogue tag for this one comes at the end. And I have one example of it in this part of my story. "That is pretty," said Zoe, right? That's an example of the dialogue tag at the end. Form B is when you have the tag at the beginning. So for example, Meanie yelled. So there's your character, and then it's saying how she said it. "Look at you. You can't go to the party. Your dress is not nice enough," right? So you have the dialogue at the beginning, and over here on the right side of my screen, I have at least 3 examples of it. Catarella asked, "Ladies, what do you think of my outfit? I made it myself." You see the dialogue tag is at the beginning. The third one is a little bit more difficult, but I do want you to try to experiment with this type of dialogue, or form C, which is when you have the tag in the middle. "You're so beautiful," Prince Meow stated. "You must be new to the neighborhood." So it's like when the character says something, so it's at the beginning, you say who's saying it in the middle, and then they continue to say something else. So for instance, on the right side of my screen, "That's too bad, Catarella," Meanie spat. "It was pretty," right? So you see the dialogue tag in the middle, it's the beginning of what they're saying, and then at the end, it tells you what they're saying. So I'm gonna just go back to my recipe card really quickly. So we reread the fairy tale, my fairy tale. I highlighted or underlined my dialogue. I want you to do that with your own writing. You can pause me right now to highlight or underline your dialogue. You should have at least 10 examples of dialogue throughout your fairy tale. It just makes your story even more interesting when you can hear the characters. And I do want you to try these 3 different ways. So if you want, you can totally pause the video right now and copy down this organizer. You know, if we were in class, I would have already printed this for you and given it to you. However, we're not in class, so if you need to copy it just so that you have the guide for it, do that now. And then I'm just gonna go back to my recipe card again. So fourth step, just go back to your writing and edit your dialogue so you ensure you have quotation marks, commas, and dialogue tags. You know, we're gonna talk more about dialogue tags in another video. We want to kind of eliminate said, because said is dead. Well, not dead, but you know what I mean. Said is boring, and we want to use different words instead of said. But in an upcoming video, we'll talk more about that. See you in the next video for writing. Bye, guys. Oh, make sure you share your fairy tale with me if you haven't. Try having your parents send a picture of it if you're writing it. If you want to type it on Google Drive and you have access to the laptop, try doing that as well. See you guys.